Good day, poker peeps. Thank you so much for tuning in to a leak plugging video. In this one, we are using the program LeakBuster 2 and our PokerTracker 4 database in order to analyze the leak and hopefully plug the leak of making poor 3-bet calls. Let's do it. So on the screen in front of you is LeakBuster 2 Professional Edition. Now, this updated version came out recently, and I really like what it does. LeakBuster 2 goes through your PokerTracker 4 or Hold'em Manager database with over 50 custom filters in order to find your leaks. On average, it's going to find somewhere between 10 and 25 leaks when you run your database through it, when you just hit this run complete analysis. But for this particular player, it has found 79 potential leaks. 3 critical, 7 very important, 8 important, 10 somewhat, and 51 spots that need attention. On the screen right now, you can see the top 3 critical leaks for this particular player. Now, this specific player, I have 8,541 hands on them, and I just chose them randomly to see what their leaks are. And I'm going to keep their name anonymous so that just to protect the innocent, I guess. But when we dive through PokerTracker 4, we're going to be filtering and looking at my own hands played. Now, one of the things that I really like about LeakBuster is that it gives you some pretty simple advice right here on the Advice tab. This is exactly what you need to plug the leak, but it doesn't give you all the information. You can think of this like bullet points, the most necessary stuff. They do have videos and occasional articles with more information to help you plug all these leaks, and I'll show you this stuff in just a little bit. Now, you can get a free trial or purchase LeakBuster 2 by going to smartpokerstudy.com/LeakBuster2. By using this link, you help to support the channel and you keep me keeping on. The link is also in the description down below this. Now, like I said before, 8,541 sample hands on an opponent. And I think because it's a rather small sample, it says it's 9% accuracy. The more hands you put through this, so your own database of 50, 100, 200,000 hands, it's going to be a bit more accurate with the leaks that it finds here. So let's work on the third leak today of terrible, I guess, calling 3-bet percentage right here. You could see for this particular player, it's at 68%. Now, if either of these other 2 leaks make sense to you, it's something that you think you suffer from, go ahead and click one of the leaks right now that pop up at the top of this video in order to be taken to those videos. But we are talking about calling way too frequently. So I like this advice. You are calling too many 3-bets, and this can quickly become a very costly leak. If you're going to call a 3-bet with a marginal hand, then ideally you want to do it in position. Totally good advice, of course. You also want to call mostly against weaker players instead of stronger players with your non-polarized or marginal range. So some really good advice right here. Let's take a look at this video. So once again, holy cow, a 49-minute video this time, all about 2-betting and then calling 3-bets. I guarantee you watch this, take notes, you're going to learn so much good strategy. Probably going to tell you to fold a lot of your hands, but it's probably going to tell you to take a look at the opponent who 3-bet you and put them on a range, gauge the type of player they are before you make your decision to call, to 4-bet, or to fold. So I bet this is going to teach you some really good strategy advice. Now, that's what I use LeakBuster 2 for. Beyond that, like this this graph, I don't really even understand what this means. I don't use it at all. But the hands portion, sure. A lot of these hands are, you're making some kind of a call, raising and then calling, just calling the 3-bet, calling right here, the 3-bet pre-flop as well. You can go through these hands, but I find it's way more beneficial to utilize PokerTracker 4. Filter for the entire situation that you're looking for, or looking into, and then now review those hands and find out where you're making mistakes, where you could be making better decisions. So let's go ahead and get to PokerTracker 4. So here is the database since January 1st, 2018, 99,000 hands, positive 3.18, pretty decent right here. But let's take a look at a specific situation, calling 3-bets way too frequently. Now, it's not just calling 3-bets. What this leak is really talking about is 2-betting and then calling 3-bets. That's where most players have a leak. The loosest players, they might have a leak of just calling 3-bets too much out of the big blind when they haven't contributed anything other than the big blind to the pot. But most players who are utilizing PokerTracker 4, trying to learn from their hands played, they pick up Leak Buster 2 as a leak plugging tool, right? You guys, just calling 3-bets isn't your problem. It's 2-betting, not wanting to fold, not wanting to 4-bet, and then calling 3-bets. That is your problem. So let me show you how to build that entire filter here. So pre-flop, of course, the first thing you've got to do to face that 3-bet is to make that 2-bet for yourself. Now, the real problem with this particular leak lies in calling 3-bets. We also want to take a look at maybe you know that you have this particular issue of you just call 3-bets too often with suited aces and suited kings because you just absolutely love those hands and you just can never find a fold, right? Maybe that's your problem. So let's go ahead into hand values. Let's take a look at when we make the 2-bet and then we call the 3-bet with a lot of these suited kings. Maybe we just have some kind of internal weakness. I mean, for myself, I love King 7 suited. And the reason I love it is because this was the first time I ever flopped a full house playing live poker. Was dealt King 7, flop comes 7-7 King, and I won a huge pot off of 2 other players because they just would not believe my bets and raises, right? So I have a weakness for King 7, but maybe you have a weakness, like I said, for all suited kings. So making the 2-bet, calling a 3-bet with suited kings. Let's see how my own database looks with this. Oh, nice. 27 hands out of 99,000. So I don't really do it that often at all. But when I do it, oh, pretty lovely. I'm actually making some decent money. Let's take a look in the cutoff, though. This is where the spot where I've lost the most money. And here's an interesting hand. Raise call, check, check with a King 8 right here. And you can see I have it tagged already. So maybe I wanted to review this hand in a prior when I actually played it. So let's take a look at this hand. Why did I call the 3-bet? Why did I not fold? Why did I not 4-bet? Coming for the 3-bet. Lovely. Oh, the big decides to 3-bet against us for slightly over 10 big blinds. Fold and fold. Okay, so before we act, let's take a look. The big is a loose aggressive player with a 3-bet at 12%. And you can see their 3-bet on the button is at 11% right here. And versus the cutoff on the button, 8.6%. But either way, it's a really high percentage. You can see this player loves making 3-bets on the button. So we can put them on a very likely bluffing range. So let's see what happens. Oh, we decide to just call. I think it's not necessarily a bad call, but if I don't hit a king or a queen, I'm probably going to be check folding quite often on this board. I really like the idea of sticking it back in the big's face by making a 4-bet right here. King queen is a great hand. It does block ace king, ace queen, as well as pocket kings and pocket queens. There's a lot of blockers to strong hands from the big. And given that I don't have an ace, if the big is 3-bet bluffing with ace 5 suited, ace 10 suited, ace deuce suited, they have more of those in their range because I do not have an ace. So I think this is a good opportunity that I missed out on. But the flop comes, hey, looking good, right? Top pair, decent kicker, flush draw, loving it. I check, we expect to c-bet because they c-bet 71% of the time, and they comply with a half pot c-bet. This is the perfect time to come in for a raise. I know I have what looks like a very good hand, but if the big does have ace king, pocket aces, even pocket queens, they might not want to fold after we check and we just call that 3-bet pre-flop. I think it's very possible by raising here we could get plenty of value. And then if we hit a flush on the turn, I mean, we might as well try to get our value now with such a strong hand before that third flush card comes, and then we bet, and then he folds to everything. So I do like the check raise right here, but I just call. Darn. Now the ace comes. Oh, I'm hating that card. We did not 4-bet bluff to give them the chance of folding their aces pre-flop. They just c-bet. We simply called. Now they hit their cheap ace on the turn. I don't like the way I've played this hand. They check behind, which is pretty good for us. We're hoping for that heart. And it doesn't come. It's not even a queen for a 2-pair hand. So we just check. And then they check behind as well. That's great. At least we get to see this river with a king right here. And we didn't put any more chips into the pot. But man, I really would have liked the 4-bet pre, or as we called pre. I like the check raise on the flop. And then look at that. Ace 9 offsuit, guaranteed they would have folded right there. pre-flop with such a hand. Alrighty, so that's how I would go about utilizing Leak Buster 2. You find your leaks, you learn about strategies to plug the leaks from the advice, from the video, and then you go into PokerTracker 4 to actually do some more work looking for hands that fit the situation, that you can see what your mistakes are and try to learn from them. I want to end this video with a little bit of take action guidance. Using Leak Buster 2 and reviewing hands like we just did, that is not enough. You need to take the strategies you learn and any mistakes that you find during your hand history reviews, and then you need to hit the felt. Practice the strategies and practice not repeating any of those mistakes. Make sure as you play, you tag important or confusing hands for later review. And then, of course, off the felt, hit the book some more for some more studying and some more reviews. Rinse and repeat until you plug your leak. All of this is critical because action is the greatest teacher. And it's the only way you're going to plug your leaks. Alrighty, well, thank you so much for watching the video. Please like the video down below, subscribe, and ding that bell for notifications on future videos. And once again, take action and get to leak plugging.